Hi everybody, hope you're well. Today we're going to talk about active and passive voice in English. There are two different ways to structure a sentence, depending on what you want to emphasize, whether that's the action or the person doing the action. So with active voice, the subject of the sentence performs the action. This structure is straightforward, it's very clear. So the formula is subject plus verb plus object. I'll give you some examples to make this clear. The chef cooked the meal. The chef is the subject. The action? Cooked. So the chef, the subject, performed the action. On the meal, which is the object. The chef cooked the meal. This is active voice. The dog chased the ball. The dog is the subject. The dog performed the action, chased, on the ball, which is the object. The dog chased the ball. She wrote a letter. She is the subject. She performed the action. She wrote the letter. The letter is the object. She wrote the letter. So active voice is direct, dynamic, and it keeps your sentences lively and engaging. Now the passive voice is a little different. The focus is on the action, or on the object of the action, rather than who performed it. The formula is object plus the verb plus past participle and then the subject. Okay, I'll give you some examples to explain this. So using passive voice, we would say, instead of the chef cooked the meal, we would say the meal, the object, this is brought to the front, the object, the meal is the focus of the action. So we say the meal was cooked by the chef. The meal is the focus, and the action was cooked, and this is performed by the chef, who is the subject. The meal was cooked by the chef. This is passive voice. The ball was chased by the dog. The ball is the object. This is the focus, and the action was chased is performed by the dog, the subject. So instead of saying the dog chased the ball, we say the ball was chased by the dog. This is passive voice. A letter was written by her. The letter is the object, so it's brought to the front. This is the focus. The letter was written by her. And the action was written is performed by her, the subject. So we're interested in what was done rather than who did it. This is passive voice. Passive voice is also used when the doer of the action is unknown, when who did the action, who performed the action is unknown, or when it's unimportant, or it's just implied. For example, the cake was eaten. We don't know who ate the cake, and it's not important. The focus is on the action of eating the cake. The homework was completed on time. The emphasis is on the homework being completed, not on who completed it. Now people ask me, why would you choose one over the other? Why choose active voice instead of passive voice or vice versa? Okay, well, active voice is when you want to keep your writing clear and direct, highlighting who is doing what. Passive voice is when you want to emphasize the action or the object, or when the subject performing the action is unknown or less important, when we're not concerned with who did what, who did it. We're not interested. We use passive voice. For example, in scientific writing or formal reports, we often use passive voice, just so we can focus on the results or the processes we used. The experiment was conducted in a controlled environment. The emphasis is on the experiment and how it was conducted, not on who conducted it. So in scientific writing, we would say the experiment was conducted in a controlled environment. Instead of Dr. So-and-so did this experiment, we're just interested in the experiment and how it was conducted, not who conducted it. The experiment was conducted in a controlled environment, and that's passive voice. So that's it. That's the lowdown on active and passive voice. Active voice makes your writing lively, direct, while passive voice shifts the focus to the action or the object. Both have their uses, Knowing when to use each one can make your communication more effective, and that's active versus passive voice. Thank you for listening. This is English 365. Bye-bye for now.